This is Sailor the Piper Man, Piper the Sailor Man, early in the morning here on the island of Puerto Rico, smoking up a storm. Smoking some of my favorite Captain Black Royal. Really smooth, fine smoke. This morning, wake up another day, and really enjoying this pipe. I mean, it's beautiful. You know, when you have friends that are willing to give something up, and well, I'm sending him tobacco too, so not that he'll miss this one. He has so many, but this for a long time he's been wanting to give it to me, send it to me, you know, and I appreciate that. I appreciate this because I'm on a fixed income myself too. I'm able to buy a pipe monthly. That's a pretty good deal, right? Out of my budget, and buy tobacco. I spend monthly about $200 on tobacco, and I'm able to budget myself by getting less expensive pipes. I got this beautiful Stanwell here. Well, look at the difference. Look at the difference. The Stanwell, beautiful. But this is a hell of a briar here, my friend. And also Savinelli. And when I'm feeling very reflective, I got my Church War Savinelli. And I got my workhorse. Like I said, this is my workhorse, Peterson. I guess this is going to be replaced with this one. And I got some corn cobs. Great. Listen up. Now, I'm going to be buying a pipe every month. I need some suggestions. What should I get? What other pipes can I add to my smoking collection? This Captain Black has Cavendish. I love Cavendish, Red Virginias. I also like English blend. Like I said, it's been a long time I've been smoking English blend. And my favorite those are Captain Black. I have to admit, I really enjoyed it. It goes back a long way with me, and I'm just gonna smoke aromatics out of this. Shameful, huh? But you're going to get to pick a pipe and an English blend for me to buy. My next purchase. And that's what I want to do. I gotta collect 24 pipes for my collection. I want 24 pipes. And so far, this has been beautiful. It has a sentimentality because it goes back to my days working at a tobacco shop. And I want to give a shout out to Jack Klugman, who played in the Odd Couples, who used to rent a place I had in Saratoga Springs in the 1980s. Jack Klugman, as you know, besides being a comedian and actor, he had a thoroughbred, and he had a trotter, and he would come up every summer the Saratoga Raceway. But one day I get a call from this man with a raspy voice. I needed to rent it out, and for some reason, I usually rented it out to people that wanted to come up for the concert series that they would give up here in Saratoga Springs, New York, upstate New York. I get this call. Backstreet Boys. He saw a picture. My place really small. Place not big. It had a round porch, and he wanted to rent it. He told me he was a cigar smoker. He was a pipe smoker, and that he needed a place where he can smoke pipes. This is before the New York State laws came down. So I said, sure. He said, I'm Mr. Jack Klugman. Mr. Jack Klugman? Yeah, he says, I'm gonna race horses. Are you Jack Klugman from the Odd Couple? He goes, yeah. So I told him, I'm not gonna charge you. He said, what? Are you crazy? You're gonna charge me? You know how much money you're gonna lose? I said, Mr. Jack Klugman, you're I'm one of your greatest fans. And I love cigars. You're welcome anytime. You know, I had another place, but I had this place real close by the raceway, near a tobacco shop. Saratoga still does, I think, has a pipe shop there. And he tells me, I tell you what, let's meet. I'm already here in Saratoga Springs. Now I lived outside of Saratoga Springs in a place called Boston Spa. It was known for its mineral water, and it was known as the home of Doubleday, the baseball. One of the founders of baseball, pioneers. I said, you're in Saratoga Springs? I said, I'll be right up there. And I told him where the pipe shop was. And he said, I know that place. I go there all the time. I said, you know the owner? He said, yeah, Art. I said, yeah. So I went there. I couldn't believe it was Jack Klugman. Of course, he looked a lot older than I expected. He was a boozer too. He drank. I walked there. Went to Rapid Voice. He says, "You want me to go?" I go, "Yes, sir." "You own a place up here?" I go, "Yes, sir." I says, "I'm in the Navy." I was stationed there because at Glens Falls there was a nuclear power plant, and they trained the submariners. Before you could be eligible to go in U.S. submarines, you had to learn about nuclear power. So I'm right up close. I'm in Boston Spa, but there's a small little Navy clinic that I work out of. We give the examinations on the sailors and all the recruits and stuff like that. And he goes, I didn't know you was a sailor. I said, yeah, I'm a sailor. So he was so nice. He went inside. "Oh, you want a cigar?" I said, "I prepare pipes." He said, "So what are you smoking?" I said, "Captain Black." He laughed. He said, "I started on Captain Black. I started with a Dr. Grable. Then I switched to cigars." So being that I pipe, he didn't have his pipe with him. So I lent him one of my pipes. I lent him one of my pipes. And we sat down. And as you know, Boston Spot gets crowded in the summertime. So me and him were sitting there, and the guys there didn't realize I knew who he was. And we sat down talking, and I think we had some Bacardi. I had Bacardi and Coke, and he had a straight shot. And my drinking days were over, but this is Jack Klugman. So he was an avid cigar smoker, avid horseman. And I never rode a horse, but I liked horse racing, and he would talk about Steve Koff, I think it was, and you were talking about some of the jockeys, and he was telling me about some of the uh, uh, Angelo Angel Cordero and a couple of the Latin jockeys, and we had just a great old time just sitting there and talking about pipes, cigars, horses, and he wanted to know if wanted to go to see them. I said, yeah, I can't afford it right now. Get a wife. I had one kid, another kid coming. So he says, listen, I gotta pay you somewhere. I'm using your place, and I'm gonna have company. And guess who shows up to meet him? An actress by the name of Suzanne Plachette. So I got to meet Suzanne Plachette. I got to meet Bill Bixby through him, and some real top-notch trainers that came in, and they all looked at me and they said, "You look so familiar. You look so familiar." I was like, "Whoa." I worked out of a cigar store called Della Concha on 7th Avenue. He goes, "I've been there. Lionel Melendez, the owner." I go, "Yeah." Yeah, I've never seen you. I said, because across the street is the tobacco blending room in a high rise building. So I would spend my time with this gentleman. His name is Erasmo Jorge Gomez, who's now a real famous abstract painter. He had that job. I was a jazz musician. So one thing leads to another, and I got to meet him on Saturday. The horses were running, and he had his own box, and I go in there, and I'm sitting with him, and they remind me of Del Mar Raceway, Aqueduct Raceway. It remind me of Yonkers Raceway, watching all the trotters, and I wore the only thing I had was a turtleneck. So I'm with this woolly turtleneck, and it's summertime, I'm sweating. I'm sweating up a storm, and we became good friends. This is before he became ill, and he knew so much about cigars, and he didn't like crowds, but because I was there, I could say, "Miguel, people looking at you more than they're looking at me." I said, "Well, I'm local. I'm here. People know me from the tobacco shop." So from that point on, I didn't realize it, but after the summer was over and he had left for California, and we had a great weekend. He left California. I went the following to buy some pipe tobacco. I walked in. One of the workers did